Africa. Where at? You need a little bit more than just people being nice and talking to you. I made it 4 months and that's it. Couldn't do it. I tried, Lord knows I tried. I said I'm out. If there's a way that I can help you guys, why not, right? Hi y'all, my name is Rita Mavunda and I have decided that I want you guys to have all the information that I have learned in the last few years of coming to Kenya in Africa, East Africa, and starting a business here and really being able to do this business by myself. We get a lot of questions, we get a lot of asking, like, Rita, like, how did you do this? How did you know this? Like, how did you even know how to start this? Like, where did you start? Why did you pick what we're doing? So I decided, I think it would be kind of cool to be able to just share this information that I have learned. I've taken a lot of beatings. I've been like screwed around a lot, but here we are and we are growing, we're moving and we're thriving. So I said, you know what, why not? If it can help you guys, if there's a way that I can help you guys, why not, right? So like I said, my name is Rita Mavunda and I am a citizen of the world, if you will. We can do another video, like a little bit about my background later, but basically my mom is Indian, red dot, not feather, and she was born in Kenya. There's quite a large Indian population in Kenya, about 400,000 Indians. We have actually been also recognized as the 44th tribe in Kenya, and we'll talk about the tribalism that goes on around here and how that affects you and in your day-to-day work in a later video. And my father is from DRC Congo, and I was born in Poland, in Krakow, and I've kind of lived everywhere all over the world. So that's why sometimes it's just easier to say I'm a citizen of the world. So one of the reasons why I came to Kenya was because I do have ties to Kenya. I've been coming to Kenya as a kid since the 80s. I stopped coming for a long time when I was like between like 12 to basically like 25 or so, just because there was nothing to do out here. Like, whoo, Lord, like what you see of Kenya now compared to when I was coming here in the 80s, it's like night and day. For those of y'all who are looking for a different place to move, Kenya's what's up. I know that we get a lot of Americans who are like, I'm going to Ghana or South Africa. I mean, that's fine. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. But in my opinion, as one who has traveled quite a lot across this continent and globally, in my opinion, for being anywhere on this continent, top 5 cities, Kenya is definitely top 3. I would probably say top 1. Maybe I'm biased, but whatever, y'all will deal with it. But like Kenya's what's up. It's got kind of everything that you need here. So one of the first things I would suggest is anybody who's moving to Africa who wants to start a business and do that, you got to figure out, where do you want to be in Africa, right? This place is huge. This continent is massive. To give you an idea, traveling from Kenya to Senegal is about a 10-hour flight with a stop in between to refuel and pick up, but generally it's about a 10+ hour flight. So that should give you an idea of the vastness, the expanse, and just how big this place is. So you got to figure out where you're trying to be at, right? Like if Ghana is where you want to be at because you're watching all these shows like, oh, Ghana, great, go check it out. I'll be honest with y'all, I've not been to Ghana yet, so I cannot tell you. But I will say in terms of the way the men's look, I'm nervous to go to Ghana, y'all. I'm nervous to go to Ghana. Like they big, they large, they in charge. I would say, you know, for a lot of y'all, this East African side, at least in Kenya, you know, like if you're into smaller men, you know, that's fine. The girls are very pretty here, but the men generally are like, you know, they're small. I'm a big girl. I take up space, so I need a man who's also going to be able to take up some of this space. So I ain't been out to Ghana, but I already know if I ever get out there, I'm going to be running the streets instead of working. So again, these are certain small things you got to keep in mind for what you need in your city. So back to what I was saying, you got to figure out what you want in your city. So like I said, for me, Nairobi it's it. We got everything out here. Like there's everything out here. You got your high end, you got your low end, you've got your beaches to the east, you've got your savannas, your bush, your mountains going into the west, you have deserts going in the north. And we really have everything. We've got a very variety of people, and because we are a coastal country, there are, throughout the history of time, there's just been all types of different types of people who have come into this part of the world and settled here in this part of the world. Like I said, the Indians here were brought over here by the British. And since then, there are more and more Indians who are not only living here, born here, but you're also even noticing a large mass of Indians from India coming to here. So anyways, all of that to say, we've got a lot of variety, a lot of movement. So for me, what was really important is I got a top 5 criteria for any city that I know that I can go, that I feel like I could be able to live, right? Because living in a city, traveling to a city, working in a city, it's different, right? Like you can go to, I've grown up for the majority of my life in Miami, Florida. And you know, Miami, I mean, we street runners, you know, MIA 305 Dade County. We out here. We, you know, if anybody's been out there, for all of y'all who, you know, who are from Miami, and I'm talking about old Miami, not this new stuff, but that old Miami from the 90s, like 80s, 90s Miami, y'all already know what I'm talking about, right? So it's really important to know yourself and what you really need in a city to be able to thrive so that you could really be your best. So for instance, my top 5 criteria for being in any city where I know for a fact that if I got there, I know I'd be able to live. Here are my criteria. 1, it's gotta be an all-night city. Like I said, I have grown up for the majority of my life in Miami, Florida. I'm a street runner. The streets call me. I answer on the first ring. What's up? What are we trying to do? So there are not many cities that are actually full-on all-night cities, right? Like in the States, I'll tell you the cities that I have been to where I'm like, all right, these are all night cities, right? Miami's one, New York is one, New Orleans is one. But I remember when I went to undergrad and law school in DC, the first year of undergrad, I was like shocked. Like stuff shut down, right? Like if you're from Miami, you're used to like going out for dinner, right? Around like 8 or 9, having some drinks, and then you go out to the club at like 11 or 12, right? Because it ain't popping till then, and it's not a good night unless you come home at like, you know, till the sun comes up. So I remember going to, when I went to DC, I was like a little bit shocked, right? Because I was like, oh, so we're going to go out at like 7. Oh, okay. And they just going to kick us out the club by like 2. And then you got to go to the after spots and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so all of that to say, for me, one of my criterias is number 1, an all-night city. The other reason why I like an all-night city is not just like saying, oh, hey, I'm going to go hit the club or whatever, but an all-night city also lets you have like just a lot of options, right? Because there's always going to be something that's going on, right? Like you could go down to like a real chill lounge out here at like 11:30 and it can just be nice and calm, or you could go hit up and tear it up and go out. The restaurant scene is actually like pretty lit out here. There's a lot of variety. There's a lot of stuff for you to choose from. Don't come out here expecting like, you know, a New York pizza. You're not going to get it out here. Don't come out here being like, oh, well, this don't even taste like how it tastes at home. It's not supposed to taste how it's supposed to taste at home. It is what we've got out here, and for what we have in this part of the world, this is what's up. So anyways, number 1, all-night city. Number 2, I kind of just touched on it a little bit. It's the variety of food. I am a female that I cannot have the same thing twice. I like variety. I like new. I like something different. If it's a surprise, sign me up. I'm into it. I'm a person who I will try anything twice. And I mean, and that kind of extends to everything. Anything twice. So for me, I am a person, I need variety of food. And the one thing that's great about here, because we are a city that has a lot of international representation here, because we are a city that has historically had many different types of cultures and peoples move through and settle and remain here, we got all types of food out here. Like I said, as an Indian, the Indian food on here is on point. This is what's up. It is different than like food from India, right? Because we have been in Kenya for so long, there are certain foods that are, you know, they've got like a African tone to it, but that's what just makes it so fun, right? That's what gives you just that little bit of like, oh wow, these are like different places, different things that we're doing, right? We got a lot of Arabs, so a lot of Arab food is really tasty. There's a lot of British people here, so if you kind of like, sausages and that, there's definitely a lot of new British farmers who are making different foods. And then we've got a lot of people who've been coming in, just setting up. The one, I don't know, like I'll talk to you about my like or dislike of the Chinese, but let's be honest, their noodles and their dim sum is what's up, right? So you do get a lot of Chinese. We have a lot of Korean, Japanese, and like actual Japanese restaurants run by Japanese, right? Not like run by Kenyans, but run by real Japanese, which definitely gives you more authenticity, right? So number 2 is variety of food. And number 3, I've just kind of been interweaving it with everything we've been saying. But number 3 is a variety of people. I could never live in a homogenous city. I grew up, like I said, I've been all over the world. I've lived all over the world. I've grown up most of my life in the East Coast. And for those of us who live on the bi-coastals, especially like in America, or for those of us who are living in Europe, in the larger cities, you get variety of people, right? And for me, I mean, variety is the spice of life. I don't know those people. I don't have a friend circle where everybody is exactly the same. I think that would be like, shoot me dead. Why would you ever want just the same ass people around you all the time? So what's really nice about this place is there's definitely a variety of people. You can get into different places, different groups. You can meet different people. And I'm saying this more so, I'm talking about being in Nairobi, right? Because this is a country where with tribes, and tribes generally have different parts of the country where they are predominantly. So generally, when you do leave and go out of Nairobi and go into further parts of the country, you're going to be going into more of those tribe lands. So in those areas, you're going to just get most of the same people, right? Like, so in Western, most of the people in Western are one tribe. Most of the people who are in Nanyuki, Nyeri on that side by Mount Kenya are generally another tribe of people. So I'm speaking specifically with Nairobi being the capital. This place, we've got a lot of variety. Now, could the people mix a little bit better out here? Yeah, sure. For any of y'all who have been out here, you kind of know Karen is mostly like white, Parklands is mostly Indian, right? Going in like outside of Nairobi, you get more of your Africans, right now I live in this Kilimani area, which is basically like Chinatown now. Ain't nothing but Chinese folk out here. So you do get variety, which is great, but I would love it if it was a little bit more of a mixing. But we could like talk about that later if anybody's interested about it. Like, hit me up in the comments and let me know. So that was number 3, variety of people. Number 4, now this might be silly, but for me it's really important, a major airport. If you are people who travel a lot, then you understand the benefits of having a major airport, right? Major airports are major hubs. Major airports have lots of flights. Major airports actually have things in the airport for you to do. Major airports make it easier for you to get in and out, right? I remember one time visiting a girlfriend of mine in Missouri, and she lived in this city called Cape Girardeau. Goddamn. Do you understand? I had to fly into St. Louis, and then we had to drive another like 2 or 3 hours to get out to where she lives. Now that for me sounds like a hell in and of itself. I'm not interested in nothing like that. Y'all get me into that city and let me go do what I gotta go do, and let me go ahead and get in and out. The beauty of being here in Nairobi, Jomo Kenyatta, JKI, we've got flights from everywhere. You can literally get everywhere. The beauty of also having UAE, Dubai right up the street. I mean, UAE is basically a global hub for every part of the world, right? So one thing that's really great about being here in Nairobi is you really can get to pretty much anywhere in the world within like 2 flights. You know what I mean? Kenya Airways just started this amazing direct JKI to JFK. It is what's up. Please do not cancel this flight. I could be their spokesperson for this flight. It's amazing for those of you guys who do travel a lot, and for those of you guys who do long haul flights. This is what's up. Ooh, this is what's up. So imagine you get out of here in the evening. The flight leaves at 11:30 p.m. So it's an overnighter, which means you could just go lay your ass down however you choose to do that, whether it is with some sleeping pills, gummies, whatever it is. You could just go to bed. You wake up, you land in JFK at 7:30 a.m. The beauty of a JFK 7:30 a.m. arrival, there ain't no other planes, there's no other customers. You will clear customs immigration like legit in 45 minutes. Last time I was out there, I had an appointment in the city to, go get my hair done because I don't let blonde over here. Not that I'm not saying there's not people here who can do, blonde highlights, but I'm not trying to have all my hair fall out. But anyways, I had left out of here at 11:30, landed in JFK at 7:30, and I made it into the city by 9 a.m. Imagine. So for all of y'all who know what that route is like, I got out there by 9 a.m., y'all. Got my hair did, had time to go and hit up a happy hour, meet up some folks, and then went right back to the airport for a 6:30 flight down to Miami. And again, the beauty of going from major airports to major airports are all your options, right? Like you can just get in and out. KQ flight, Kenya Airways flight, it's great. The stewardess are just really helpful, very amicable, really easy on the eyes, both men and women, which is always a pleasure if you're going to be sitting over there for 15 hours. It is about a 13 to 14 hour flight, but the beauty of this direct flight is you don't have to stop in Europe. You don't have to stop in the desert. You're just in and out. You don't have to deal with layovers, and especially now with this COVID nonsense, however the hell this thing is all going to look. You have to deal with all of that, right? You don't have to deal with delayed flights. You don't have to deal with, do you have your little COVID test? It's like, I got it. Get out of here, So, number 4, major airport. And my last one, this is very particular to me. It's a swimmable ocean, right? So like I said, for a lot of my life, I grew up in the MIA 305 Dade County. And back in the day, before like that obscene traffic, you could get out to the beach pretty much from anywhere in like 20 minutes, right? So I've grown up by the ocean. I've lived by the ocean. I used to have an apartment right on the ocean. I love the ocean. Nothing heals and soothes and makes things better than the ocean for me. I know all of y'all who are like mountain dwellers, the mountains do the same for y'all. You desert dwellers, the desert do it for y'all. But for me, as being a person who's grown up majority of my life, the majority of my younger life by the ocean is just something for me. I used to say just an ocean, and then I remember when I had gone down to South Africa to Cape Town, I was like, oh. So there's oceans and then there's swimmable oceans, right? So for y'all who might have gone down there, like that Camps Bay, it's just so picturesque. It's beautiful, right? Like that water comes lapping in. The sand is just expansive and beautiful. Now go ahead and go and try to take a dip in that water. You're not going to be able to take nobody's dip in that water. It's trash, all right? It's freezing. It's cold. Don't show me a good time and then tell me I can't get into it to have a good time. You understand what I'm saying? So for me, after that trip, I had to put a little caveat on my number 5 with the ocean. It must be a swimmable ocean, okay? So for those of y'all who have maybe spent some time in different parts of the world with different oceans and the seas and what we have, in my opinion, all right, when the universe and God was creating all the things, all of that he dumped over here in that Indian Ocean. He gave a good dose down over there in the Caribbean. But other than that, you know what I mean? Nothing beats over this Indian Ocean over here now. Nothing beats it over here. It's beautiful. The water's God's bath water. It's temperate all year round. And it's just beautiful, right? The color, the mood, all of that. Same with the Caribbean. Yes, I get it, but nowhere near the Indian Ocean. For those of y'all who are going to try to tell me that the Atlantic and the Pacific are what's up, you are not part of this conversation because clearly you ain't ever really seen a really nice ocean and you don't really know what you're talking about. But like I said, it's my opinion, so I'm just letting you guys know. So, like I said, when we are first sitting here trying to figure out, like, all right, look, we're ready to make the move. You don't want to live in the U.S. anymore. Maybe you want to try something else, right? Maybe you don't want to be in Europe anymore. Maybe you want to be in a country, on a continent where you see black and brown people, right? And, like, they're around in every part, right? It's not like, you go to the doctor, they're an African, they're black. You go to see a lawyer, you go outside to get your garden done. And it's a real pleasure, right? Especially for those of us who have grown up in cities where that's not the case, right? Where you don't see so many people who look like you, your color, and you're not seeing some of that. This part is really a pleasure. So I guess just again, so before you guys decide, oh, hey, I just like, for instance, let me just say this again. Like one thing that just pisses me off, like, is like when you meet those people where they're like, oh, I'm just going to Africa. Where at? Like this place is so big. This place is so diverse. I just kind of feel like it's just a nonsensical statement, right? It's like if you're going to say like, I'm coming to America, like, but where, right? The West Coast is different than the East Coast. The South is different than being in the North. The Midwest is different. I don't know nothing about the middle states, all that middle stuff, all that landlocked middle stuff. Don't ask me about none of that. I don't know nothing about that. I ain't really got no interest to go and see any of that. But again, let's be honest, right? Idaho is going to be very different than being in New York, right? Or, you know, being in Washington State is going to be real different looking than being in Texas. So when you're thinking about these small things, like narrow down kind of what you like, what you don't like, what do you need in your city, what do you don't need in your city to thrive. Like I said, for me, my top 5 criteria are, number 1, all-night city. Number 2, variety of food. Number 3, variety of people. Number 4, major airport. And number 5, a swimmable ocean. There are a few cities that I have identified as such, and Kenya on the continent fits all of those criteria. For those of you guys, again, who like just love Ghana, that Atlantic Ocean is trash. Sorry, not sorry. That Atlantic Ocean on that side is trash. I've been to a few countries. I've been to Ivory Coast. I've been to Senegal. I've been to Guinea where it's on that Atlantic. Not interested. So again, when you guys are sitting here thinking about yourselves, like where do you want to be? How do you want your life to look? What kind of a life do you want to lead? What do you need in your lifestyle so that you can be your best? I think that first question before you start saying to yourself, like, I'm just out of here, I'm moving, I'm whatever, right? Everybody has those moments, but when you're being really serious about it, it does involve planning, it does involve intention, and it does involve having some real thought as into how it's going to look, right? So we are out here living the life, building the dream. I love it out here. I'm like really happy out here. I'm very content with my life out here. So for me, Kenya was just the easiest choice because it had all of my top 5 criteria. So guys, if you guys want some help to kind of discuss where do you want to move, what do you like, not like, and what city can fit your needs, hit me up, DM me, hit us up in the comments. I'd love to be able to talk about that. But anyway, so again, number 1, before you decide I'm leaving, I'm gone, I'm out of there, regardless of whatever country you're going to, regardless of whatever continent you're going to go to, regardless of however it's going to look, really take the time to figure out for yourself, what do you need so that you can be your best in a new environment where you can really thrive and get that experience that you're really looking for. So that's all I got on this one real quick. Hit me up. Like I said, the top 5, you need your top 5 criteria. Figure out where you're trying to be at, what you're trying to do, and what you're trying to live. Like I said, when I first moved out here, before I came and stayed properly in Kenya, I was living in Lilongwe in Malawi. I made it 4 months. And that's it. Couldn't do it. I tried, Lord knows I tried. I said, I'm out. Why? Because they didn't even have my top 5 criteria, right? Wasn't no swimmable ocean out there. There wasn't no major city out there. No real variety of food or nothing. Were the people nice? Yeah, sure. But like you need a little bit more than just people being nice and talking to you. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, before you guys, like even before we get down to like what do you need to start your business? How do you start your business here? You got to be able to know yourself well enough to know where do you want to go to be able to start up a business so that your business can be successful, right? My name is Rita Mavunda. I'm out here living the life and building the dream, y'all, and I want to help y'all do the same. So hit me up, DM me, whatever it looks like. I'm around. Let me know. All right. Thanks, y'all. Bye.